What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is MrHurriicane, and we finally have some Madden 18 news to talk about, as the new trailer has been out, and there are a few developer blogs from the EA Sports website, and I always like digging into these blogs and going through the information. So today I'll be talking about the new game styles in Madden 18. We have arcade, competitive, and of course, simulation. And I'm focusing on this topic for today's video because this is the #1 thing I've been looking forward to with Madden 18, specifically the simulation game style. It could be a game changer if done well, we will see. If you wish to read the article yourself, it is linked down below in the description. And when there is more Madden 18 news, I'll be talking about it here on the channel. We'll have some videos upcoming after this talking about the new DB wide receiver interactions along with the new target passing mechanic. It's been a really weird cycle leading up to the release of Madden with not much between EA Play and now, and all of a sudden getting multiple blogs at the same time. So I'll get around to them, but we're going to start today with game styles. I think this is a really good addition to the game, having multiple ways to play to cater to all the audiences that enjoy Madden. There are the more arcadey players who want the more simple experience, and that's cool. Then you have the simulation players like myself who want as much authenticity as possible. When I play Madden, I want the players to matter more than I do. When it comes to franchise mode, that's what I want. I want the players to really drive the direction of the team, whether that's good or bad. I want ratings to be king, and I want the most authentic simulation experience. Then there are the competitive players who are all about user skill and stick skills, and a lot of things have been streamlined in recent years to make things easier, like with heat seeker tackling and with the ball hawk for intercepting. They want to have the player's ability matter the most, and I think that there are reasons to have all three styles, and I really hope that it's done well this year. It's the first year it'll be in the game, so I really want to see how well it's done. As soon as I get my hands on the game, I'll be into simulation, and I'll be giving a lot of feedback on that. I'll be doing a lot more of kind of critiquing things this year and giving my thoughts on various aspects of where the game is at currently and where I want it to go, because I want to see this game get better and focus a bit more on that side of the game this year with various content when the game is still fresh. And for wishlist style content, that really is the best time to do it, right after release in the September month basically. So why don't we go through these sections here of the article and see what they have to say about arcade, simulation, and competitive. In the article it says that arcade is the high-octane version of Madden. This game style delivers a fast-paced, exciting style of play where high scores and spectacular catches are the norm and penalties are very limited. The user-controlled player is the boss and will feel like the most powerful player on the field. This mode is perfect for the gamer trying to get in a quick, casual, action-filled game. This is where I feel the game usually is out of the box, where you don't see a lot of like pass inaccuracy, very many penalties. Maybe it'll be skewed even more in that direction for the arcade play style, I'm not sure, but I do feel like out of the box, default settings, you typically get a more arcadey experience, and that does fit into what a lot of people are looking for when it comes to enjoying a game of Madden. So arcade, basically, we all know what that's going to be. High octane, big plays, that kind of thing. Not going to see a lot of pass inaccuracy or anything that should be too frustrating. That's for us sim players. So simulation is the authentic NFL experience. This is the game style plays true to player and team ratings and NFL rules. This game style includes all supported penalties, injuries, and other random outcomes you see every Sunday. The players on your roster and the schemes you employ will be critical to success when playing simulation. This is the game mode for players that are fans of football and want to play a game that's true to form. Simulation is the default style for connected franchise mode. I have really high expectations for the simulation playstyle because there is a very vocal simulation community, and we want to see this done right. It is a major headache every year getting the brand new Madden and figuring out the sliders and everything that has to be set up for us to get the game that we want to play. And in Madden 17 was a much easier year than normal for me to get sliders done and for a franchise to get underway. But that's not always the point, and it's something I always dread because I know that no matter how long it's going to take, it's going to be an annoying process. I hope simulation cuts down on that significantly. Then the competitive mode, which is all about head-to-head competition and tournament play. This is where user stick skills are king, and certain outcomes will be heavily weighted based on game situations and ratings thresholds. Penalties are limited, there are no injuries, and random outcomes are rare. Executing gameplay mechanics and making the right reads dictate success when playing competitive. EA competitive gaming events and ranked online game modes will be set to this by default. Be ready for some trash talk, for this is where the Madden hardcore reside. I really enjoyed watching competitive this year in Madden. Not so much in 16, but in 17 I really enjoyed watching a lot of the games. And I'm excited to see that competitive is becoming a bigger deal in Madden. And I do think they should have their own way the game should be played as well. Different communities want different things. The sim and competitive crowds want very different things for the most part. And I hope that the competitive crowd gets what they're looking for here, and that the user's skill really stands out, and that the games are enjoyable. I'm sure I'll get somewhat familiar with the competitive playstyle because I play MUT at the beginning of every Madden, and I'll be focusing on that more on my second channel this year, not so much on this channel. I don't play Madden competitively, but it looks like that'll be kind of the way the game will be set for when you're playing online games in general. Now we have some game style breakdowns, so a little bit more depth for all three styles, beginning with arcade. User-controlled pass rushers frequently beat their blocks. User hit sticks and strip ball attempts will be highly successful. Spectacular catches occur frequently, especially by elite players. Broken tackles and ball carrier fakeouts are commonplace. Chance of throwing interceptions as a user is lower. Can kick longer field goals, and there's a higher chance to block kicks when on defense. So, sounds like nothing but highlights for the most part. I doubt I'll be too familiar with this one, but it's there for those who want the arcade experience. On to simulation, expect the unexpected. Even highly rated players have a slim chance of failure on occasion. That to me is so important. I don't like when these elite players are basically invincible, and I don't think it's wrong when a player drops a pass even if they're wide open every now and then. I think sometimes people look at something that is unlikely to happen, and when it does happen, they think it shouldn't because it is unlikely in the first place. Why would Antonio Brown ever drop a wide open pass for a touchdown? It could happen. And things like that happen every NFL Sunday. I say bring on the failure in simulation. Next, injuries and penalties occur at a rate on par with real-world NFL statistics and data. Bring on the penalties, bring on the injuries in the game. I want to see true difficulty really resembled in franchise. And one thing that is never on par with real football is injuries. Having to fight through what the Vikings did last year. They start out 5-0, O-line completely depleted, finish 8-8. Teams have to bounce back from injuries all the time, and depth in Madden has never been all that important. And sure, you could play on a very high injury setting, but obviously last year that really messed with simulated games, and you'd see so many star players go down with injury, so there wasn't a happy middle ground when it came to the injury slider in Madden 17. But if they're occurring on a regular basis on here, you should have to have depth built up. And if the wrong player goes down, say goodbye to your season. That's football. As far as penalties go, I definitely want to see a lot more of those, and for different traits for players and their penalty frequency to be very important. Players with elite ratings will be successful far more often than those with ratings below the elite level. And that makes sense. You want to see the star players really stand out. Why bother getting a 95 overall player when your 80's doing his job at the same level? I want to see a gap between all the various players. At certain positions in even 17, I definitely notice a gap. In my Chargers franchise, I have an amazing secondary and amazing receiving core. When I go to play like preseason games with the backups, yeah, significant difference. When a star player goes down, backup comes in, I notice the difference. I just want to see that maybe be emphasized a little bit more, and for us to really know who is great and who is replacement level. New pass and accuracy system allows more realistic performances from lower rated quarterbacks. Accuracy has always been oversimplified, I'd say, in Madden. Different players have a lot of difficulty hitting plays like the deep comeback or the deep out, plays that really require good strength and precision. And I want to see the little variations in accuracy that can take place, whether you're a little bit behind the receiver and now he gets no yak as a result, or if you're on the money and the defender barely misses deflecting the pass away. And when we get to target passing, I think we'll see a lot more with that and that information. But as far as the inaccuracy system goes, I hope there is just a lot of different outcomes that can happen based on the skill of the quarterback. If you're throwing a pass to a receiver, it could go right to his numbers. It could be low, high, to the left of him, to the right, and many places in between. And if you miss by a little, it can make a big difference. And that's how you separate true quarterback play in a game where the user is making all the decisions. Yes, you can get those outcomes, all of them, in Madden 17 now. And when that happens, it looks great. But I think most of the time you get one of two outcomes. Most of the time, the throw is perfect. When it's not, it is so far from your receiver, it's laughable. And those inaccurate passes gotta go, especially on passes below 10 yards. When you miss by like 5-6 yards on a crossing pattern, that's an issue. When it's a deep ball, another story. And finally, for simulation, fatigue and stamina have bigger impacts on gameplay. I really want to see that be emphasized. If you are wearing down a defense with the running game in the first half, you should have more success in the second. And I think I see some of that in 17, but I don't have any raw data to really prove it, although I have, just good success in the second half in a lot of games, I guess. I don't know what the stamina is for the computer defenders, but I do think I see some of that now. I'm not sure if it has to do with me playing these long games, and so you do see more of a stamina impact over time. 120, 130 plays, maybe that happens. But I like these points of emphasis for the simulation play type. I know I focused on that the most, but I'm a simulation guy and I've been so excited to talk about this, and I can't wait to actually play with the simulation game type. But now the competitive bullet points here. Going for an interception with a wide open defensive player who has a good catch rating leads to a significantly lower chance of them dropping the ball. That makes sense. If you have a good player wide open, they should usually make the catch, and there is a small chance of them dropping it. Throwing from a clean pocket with a quarterback's feet set reduces the chance of an inaccurate pass, providing they have a good pass accuracy rating based on the throw type and that you're not using any passing mechanics. So it's all about just eliminating some of these random outcomes that happen even though you do things correctly. When you're talking about a shorter football game in a competitive environment, random outcomes, just one can make a huge difference. In a longer game, you could recover from like a pick six in the first play, but in a short game, the game might be over right there. But there's also just the principle of having your skill matter, and when you do things correctly, you should be rewarded. There's a significantly lower chance of a drop catch when a receiver is considered wide open and has a good catch rating. Same thing. There's a decreased chance of offensive wins and multiplayer catch outcomes, such as throwing to a covered receiver. So, DB's got a chance. Only AI players with a big hitter trait can hit stick. That should be everywhere. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Why else would there be a big hitter trait? To close out the article, it just basically states that this not only gives you the player an option on how you want to play the game, but it also gives the developers a chance to tune the game without affecting other players' experiences. So if the sim guys say we need more penalties, that won't affect those playing competitive ball. We'll have our own little setups here, and I really like that. It was a great idea. You can see what game style you are playing in any mode. Will be on the scoreboard in the upper left-hand corner during gameplay, and each game style can be played on each difficulty level: Rookie, Pro, All-Pro, and All Madden. So that is it for this blog. I know I spent a lot of time talking about the simulation play type, and I am going to be all over that when Madden 18 is on the early access next month. So, what do you guys think of these game styles, and what is going to be your preferred way to play? I'll have a poll in the card in the YouTube video on the upper right hand corner, and you can vote on what is your preferred play style. I'd just like to know. And just leave your feedback down below in the comment section. What do you think of these game styles? And for the one that you preferred, do you like the sound of things? Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more Madden 18 news and content. Check out my Chargers franchise if you haven't to see what a lot of my content is like. And I will see you all with another video soon. Have a great day.